South Korea recorded a current account deficit in November. This is mainly due to weaker outbound shipments driven by a decline in exports of chips and petroleum products, as Shin Ha-young explains.
Amid a continued drop in exports of semiconductors, South Korea's current account was in the red in November for the first time in 3 months. Preliminary data released by the Bank of Korea on Tuesday shows the country posted a current account deficit of $620 million. That's down by about $7.4 billion from the previous year. The goods balance, which tracks goods imports and exports, came to a deficit of $1.57 billion in November, falling more than $7.6 billion on year after recording a surplus a year earlier. When it comes to exports, the country exported $51.9 billion of goods, an on-year decrease of 14%. This was mainly due to weaker exports of chips and petroleum products. It's the third consecutive month of exports falling from the previous year after the country posted an on-year decrease in September for the first time in 23 months. Imports, on the other hand, saw an on-year rise of 2.7% to almost $58.9 billion with a growing cost of importing raw materials. Meanwhile, the service account, which tracks earnings and spending on overseas trips and transport, saw its deficit widen to $340 million. The accumulated current account from last January to November stands at a surplus of $24.3 billion. The BOK forecast back in November that the country's current account for 2022 would record a surplus of $25 billion. To meet that outlook, the country would have to see a surplus of at least $600 million to $700 million in December. Shin Ha-young, Arirang News.